Ciao, Remigio. You won't believe what just happened to me. While strolling the Ponte Vecchio, I was startled by a loud noise. When I turned to see what it was, I came across a most fascinating machine. Speaking to the gentleman inside, who spoke such beautiful Italian, I discovered he was from the future. I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. His name was Roberto De Niro, and he relayed this tale to me of having traveled from the year 2019 in what he described as a DeLorean time machine. Never in my life had I seen such a machine before. They make our aqueducts look like such simple inventions. After some trepidation, I accompanied Mr. De Niro to the year 2019, and I was shocked at what I saw there. I am writing to you today to relay that my vision for Inferno is as applicable in 2019 as it is the day I left Florence. I'd like to describe to you who I met and run some edits past you on how Inferno may look. I feel Neri is coming for me soon, so I'm unsure how much time I have left to relay these thoughts, and I want them to be safe with you for safekeeping. I came to know of two men who belong in what I've described as limbo. One, Neil deGrasse Tyson, spends his days studying the stars and celestial bodies, but declares himself an agnostic. I do believe he will spend the afterlife wandering limbo, but he will hardly be alone. A gentleman named Thomas Cruise does not hold a belief in the same deity as you and I do, Remigio, but rather follows this Scientology practice, wherein there is no distinct recognition of heaven nor hell. As I doubt he nor Mr. Tyson have been baptized, I do see them meandering with other virtuous pagans for eternity. As we journey into the second level of hell, I find new souls being tormented at the carnal tower. I came to know of men like Rupert Murdoch, who lusted not just for physical contact, but also for power. Same can be said for William Clinton, a former gonfaloniere who abused his powers and committed acts of carnal delights while holding his nation's highest office. They will toil forever, strapped naked to large boulders that will roll down the searing hills of hell. Along with Signore Clinton and Murdoch, Hugh Hefner and Kim Kardashian will suffer here as well. They live their lives in pursuit of the carnal pleasures and in attracting others to the desires of the flesh. The gluttonous in 2019 are plentiful. I see Signorina Lindsay Lohan entering in this circle, her overzealous desire for illicit substances similar to opium and Blue Lotus in our day. Miss Lohan will suffer eternally with the likes of Jordan Belfort, the subject of a moving picture film titled The Wolf of Wall Street. While I do not yet understand what a moving picture film is, or where Wall Street is, I surmise that Mr. Belfort could be a suitable character in many of the layers of my Inferno, given his widespread use of illicit substances and sexual misconduct. Alas, there is no shortage of men and women who fit multiple categories of my Inferno. As punishment, the gluttonous will be drugged down by demogorgons in a boiling pit of cheese whiz, a luminous substance that appears to be popular in this day and age, but does not rival the quality of our formaggio. Avarice is alive and well in 2019, with gentlemen like Larry Ellison, one of the many aristocrats whose fortunes enable them to unduly influence the masses. Signore Ellison will suffer with the likes of Bernie Madoff, uomo d'affari, who stole funds from many in an elaborate scheme that made the crimes of Marcus Crassus look trivial. Others in 2019 enjoy the labor and thrill of collecting more and more until they become prisoners in their homes. These so-called hoarders continue to purchase more and more stuff until they have little room to live. Like Signori Ellison and Madoff, residents in level 4 of hell will spend eternity being trampled by angry mobs, rushing to make purchases one day a year in what I can best describe as a pagan ceremony known here as Black Friday. The wrathful and sullen include men who choose to harm women as part of their daily lives. A mediocre cantante named Chris Brown belongs here, as he chose to abuse a young lady physically. Others who commit similar crimes include Adrian Peterson, Athleta, who appears to be a Viking of some sort, which perhaps explains his barbaric treatment of women. For their punishment, they will play this game common today known as Fortnite, where characters chase one another in order to inflict harm to them. As their characters are killed in their game, so too will the souls feel similar pain for eternity. In a large grave where blistering dirt shall be tossed upon them in perpetuity shall lie the heretics. Such souls shall long to see light and remove themselves from the pain their darkness has caused others. This circle of Inferno includes Perez Hilton, a person who spends his days gossiping about others. There are many more souls here, but also, as I am short on papyrus, I must move on. Violence plays a large role in 2019, so much that this level of Inferno will need expanding. Residents of Level 7 will include Rodrigo Duterte, dittatore of what you will know as the Venice of the Visayas. Signore Duterte is living his life full of violence, inflicting fear on those he is entrusted to lead. Likewise, Signore Adolf Hitler lives here, a man who committed such atrocities on an entire race that the massacre of Lucera looks trivial in response. These awful souls shall live out the afterlife shrouding capes made of glass shards, forced to bathe daily in a vat of molten lava. It is my hope that they experience all the pain they inflicted on so many. We are reaching the bottom of Inferno, so please stay with me, Remigio. Our next stop is the fraudsters, and the temperature continues to plummet as we near the floor of hell. Here we continue with those who use their financial means to gain acceptance for their children to prestigious université. We also find atleta like Signore Thomas Brady and Bill Belichick. These men ignored the rules of their game, committing fraud to gain an unfair advantage over their adversaries. Destino would correct this fraud in 2018, when Brady and Belichick would lose a key contest, but regardless, they shall toil in hand-to-hand combat, headed for a doorway labeled Out, but that leads them to the river Styx, where they will ride the fiery waters back down to level 8 forever. We have arrived at the final layer of our hell, a ring reserved for the most treacherous. In this layer of hell, we find sacerdote who abuse the trust held in them to abuse the most vulnerable in our society, the children. Likewise, we find cape of youth organizations that have done the same through an organization referred to as the Boy Scouts. I have reconsidered this layer and have chosen to place Cerberus here, moving this cane serpente from level 3. Cerberus will be happier here, forever feasting on those who have committed the most egregious of sins, eviscerating the likes of past and present sinners. 2 mouths occupied, he has room for 1 more. While several candidates prowl about the earth who are likely deserving of such fate, I am reserving judgment, lest I too become guilty of judging others. I have no doubt, however, that if life continues along the same path, I will need to expand this layer of hell in due time as well. So in closing, I ask that you pray for me, Remigio, and I will pray for you. Ciao!